Hi there everyone, for Viral Now, I'm Jer, here to talk about and show 10 cartoons and what they would look like in real life. This has seemed to be a recent trend for a few artists, where they take a beloved cartoon character and translate them to be human-like, or at least what they would look like in our world, I suppose I should say. As they often have exaggerated features, it makes for rather unsettling images, as they fall into what is known as the uncanny valley, where they almost look like us, yet they're not quite there, and with how often we as humans look at other humans' faces, when something even small is off, we notice it, and it comes off as kinda creepy. Let's get to these images, followed by this quick message. To up your style game, check out HypeLitStore.com to find some of the latest trendy designs, with the Space Galaxy hoodie, Oreo joggers, or vintage Rick t-shirt, among many others. Once again, at HypeLitStore.com. SpongeBob SquarePants, from SpongeBob SquarePants. One of the longest running cartoons that is still going to this day, the series synopsis, according to Nickelodeon, reads, "The character-driven cartoon chronicles the nautical and often nonsensical adventures of SpongeBob, an incurably optimistic and earnest sea sponge, and his underwater friends. Dwelling a few fathoms beneath the tropical island of Bikini Atoll in the subsurface city of Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob lives in a two-story pineapple. Instead of taking the logical approach to everyday challenges, SpongeBob approaches life in a wayward and unconventional way, whether searching for the ultimate spatula to perfect his burger, flipping technique at the Krusty Krab, or just hanging out with his best friend Patrick. SpongeBob's good intentions and overzealous approach to life usually create chaos in his underwater world. So yeah, looking at SpongeBob, this yellow sea sponge. I guess if you think about it, the show has shown what he and his friend Patrick would look like in our world. Once again, what I'm about to show you is an artist's interpretation if he was, well, brought into our world. What a cartoon person version of him would look like if we saw him walking down the street. Here he is. Certainly a bit of an ominous vibe from this piece. Hopefully it's just a translation from cartoon to real life. I'm sure he'd be just as friendly as he is in the show. I mean, it just looks like he needs to return to water here. It also kind of looks like he wants to get us with that spatula. Fred Flintstone, from the Flintstones. Tad Durbin on IMDb says, this popular animated television cartoon featured two Stone Age families, the Flintstones and their neighbors, the Rubbles. Much of the humor was based on its comic portrayals of modern conveniences, reinterpreted using Stone Age technology. Most notably were their cars, complete with absence of floorboards to allow them to be foot-powered. The main character is Fred Flintstone, an ordinary, hardworking man with a loving family and best friends, once again, the Rubbles. Here is what Fred would look like if he was real. Oh, looking at these images, they really highlight how he's been stylized. Here is Fred, of course, without a neck that is the same width as his body, including his massive nose. Cookie Monster from Sesame Street. The series has been running for nearly 50 years. Starting in 1969, it is an educational program for young children, combining sketch comedy, live action, animation, and puppetry. The main casts are Muppets, created by Jim Henson. In modern times, the show has 20 different versions, independently produced in various languages all over the world, teaching preschool children about a lot of educational basics and also some more complicated aspects of life that was not really fully understood until an older age, but the writers do introduce some more complex issues at times. The biggest appeal to the show is certainly the quality of the writing, but also, as a young child, the lovable Muppet characters. From Elmo to Big Bird, Oscar the Grouch, Grover, Bert and Ernie, and Cookie Monster. The blue friendly puppet, just as his name suggests, has a major affection for cookies. Well, here is what he would look like if he were in real life. Now, with Cookie Monster, the Muppets do live in our world. Once again, this is a live action show, in the context of it, so he doesn't look too different, although this particular artist has drawn him embracing the monster side of himself quite a lot. Super Mario. According to Wikipedia, the Super Mario games follow Mario's adventures, typically in the fictional Mushroom Kingdom with Mario as the playable character. He is often joined by his brother Luigi and occasionally by other members of the Mario cast. As in platform video games, the player runs and jumps across platforms atop enemies in themed levels. The games have simple plots, typically with Mario rescuing the kidnapped Princess Peach from the primary antagonist Bowser. the best-selling video game series of all time, with several different iterations and genres explored, the lead, Mario, looks more so close to a believable person than the rest on this list, as he is a human. In an interview with the director of Super Mario Odyssey, the most recent title in the series, when asked if Mario is human, he confirmed that he is in fact one. Also, adding to why he looks different from the typical human, considering his large eyes and big nose, he said, "In the world, there are many different types of people, you know." Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. The film's story is about two highly eccentric and mischievous individuals. A Hawaiian human girl named Lilo Pelikai, who lost her and her older sister's parents in a car accident, and an extraterrestrial creature originally named Experiment 626, who gets adopted by Lilo as her dog, quote, called Stitch. Stitch, who is genetically engineered by his creator to cause chaos and destruction, initially uses her to avoid being captured by an intergalactic federation, but the two individuals develop a close bond through ohana, a Hawaiian concept of extended family. This bond causes him to reconsider and later defy his intended destructive purpose in order to keep his newfound family together. As it reads on Wikipedia, one of the lead, Stitch, is this extraterrestrial genetic experiment. If he were to just be found in our real world, this is what he would look like. Quite terrifying, I must say. Hopefully he'd be just as lovable as in the main film, and with the television spin-off, perhaps Lilo would have to come around to make sure that he does stay in line and doesn't cause any chaos. Charlie Brown from Peanuts. Peanuts is originally an American comic strip, focusing on a circle of young children where adults exist but are rarely seen or heard, as said on Wikipedia. The comic strip has been adapted to film and television since the 1960s, some of the most famous projects being A Charlie Brown Christmas and It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, the main character of the strips and most of the films and television adaptations being Charlie Brown, someone who is an ordinary individual who is simultaneously friends with everyone, yet everyone makes fun of him. He can be a leader, but he can also be a loser at times. The famous characteristic of all Peanut characters is their head, large and round. When an artist interpreted Charlie Brown into real life, this is what we got. I wouldn't say he looks menacing, but a bit creepy, I guess unnerving. I feel like if I were to go up and talk to him, he'd act surprised and shifty, so to say. I could talk with him and not feel threatened, but I probably wouldn't go to too many places with this guy. The Ice King from Adventure Time. A human boy named Finn, an adoptive brother, and best friend Jake the dog protect the citizens of the land of Oo from foes of various shapes and sizes, as it's read on Wikipedia. One of the main reoccurring foes in the series is the Ice King, originally a man who was later turned into a wizard/ice elemental. Fun fact, he is voiced by Tom Kenny, the same voice actor for SpongeBob. Here is what the Ice Wizard would look like in real life. In his form, he's retained somewhat human features, so he doesn't look too wild. He certainly sticks out, but would probably be fine to sit down with and have a Slurpee with, so to say. I was gonna say hot chocolate, but probably wouldn't be a good idea with him. Philip J. Fry from Futurama. According to Ronos on IMDb, Philip Fry is a 25-year-old pizza delivery boy whose life is going nowhere. When he accidentally freezes himself on December 31st, 1999, he wakes up 1,000 years into the future and has a chance to make a fresh start. He goes to work for the Planet Express Corporation, a futuristic delivery service that transports packages to all 5 quadrants of the universe. Its companions include the delivery ship's captain, Leela, a beautiful one-eyed female alien who kicks some serious butt, and Bender, a robot with very human flaws. So, this lazy, moronic man, brought from the year 1999 to 2099, and living in the 3000s, can also be incredibly smart at times. Due to him being brought into the future, he isn't restricted by a device that sets your IQ. Anyways, in our world, here is what he would look like. Not too scary. He looks somewhat like most humans, but he does have a large upper lip. Maybe by the time the 31st century comes around, there'll be many cartoon characters in our world. Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story. The series follows the adventures of a boy named Andy and his toys who come to life when they are left on their own. Over the 3 films, they faced various hardships, with the lead characters Sheriff Woody and Buzz Lightyear. Also characters such as Little Bo Peep, Rex, Ham, Slinky Dog, and Mr. Potato Head. Throughout all of the films, there is a bit of a competition between Woody and Buzz, as they both have leadership characteristics. In the first film, tensions are especially high, as Buzz is brand new and tries to take over, so to say. In the second and third films, they become friends and have a much more so lighthearted competition with each other. Buzz Lightyear is a Space Ranger hero action figure, voiced by actor Tim Allen. The character is quite complex, having a range of emotions, from being depressed, prideful, and anger-filled, similar to that of a real human. But remember, he isn't a human. If he were to be a real-life Space Ranger from the Gamma Quadrant of Sector 4 though, here is what he would look like. Certainly the least unsettling interpretation, as his action figure is based off of a human. He looks like he'd be awesome to hang out with. Homer Simpson from The Simpsons. According to Sam Kelly on IMDb, this is an animated sitcom about the antics of a dysfunctional family. Homer is the oafish, unhealthy, beer-loving father. Marge is the hard-working homemaker wife. Bart is the perpetual 10-year-old underachiever and proud of it. Lisa is the underappreciated 8-year-old genius. And Maggie is the cute, pacifier-loving silent infant. Homer is our protagonist, acting as a comedic piece, being able to laugh at his missteps, yet at the same time, he is relatable enough to the audience. If he was found walking around in our world, this is what he'd look like. The defining characteristic of The Simpsons is their massive upper lip, in comparison to the rest of their face. Of course, also, its large bulging eyes, looks somewhat human, but also at the same time like a bit of a freak. Thank you all for watching. For Viral Now, I'm Jer, wishing you to have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.